Well, this in-state rivalry is the most played in each of the schools' histories. You see, this is the 87th meeting all time, and it goes back a little ways. Coach, you were telling me about watching the first meeting between these schools back in 1928. Who came out on top?
I think you've got me confused with someone that's much, much older.
And you see Arkansas State with the 8-point win down in Little Rock last month. And here the Red Wolves have grabbed an early 3-point lead. Look, you coached in these games and you've been a part of rivalries all over the place. They're fun and they're just a little different than other games.
Yeah, they're fun and they make you nervous too. You know, it's always more fun to watch them with somebody else involved than you yourself being involved.
Mike Mulatto, you see Little Rock's huddle there, but Mike Mulatto made the comment earlier this week on his radio show that when he took part in his first Little Rock game down at Stevenson earlier this season, he said you kind of went about it business as usual. And then early in the game, a Little Rock player hit a 3 and turned back and glared at him. And he said, okay, this one's a little different. And he realized the intensity had jumped up a notch.
That will happen.
Trojans had the basketball coming out of the media timeout. The foul on Tomas Bruce brought the timeout.
Boy, for two teams that have not shot it well, Little Rock's 50%, Arkansas State's 57% in the first 6 minutes.
Cameron Corcoran picks up the screen, gives the basketball up, and Cameron Reedus knocks it out. Look, I watched this kid warm up, and it's not the way you teach it, but it goes in.
No, I know. He's paying me back for making fun of the knuckleball and all that stuff. But he follows through at the basket, and he is shooting the ball pretty well, huh?
Knocked down a couple to tie it at 11. Eaton, a little bit of a mismatch, has Chris Bankston on him. Tried to get to the bucket and is going to be called for a travel.
You know, Bankston and Black both are tall, but they are long and active, and they both have pretty good feet. Arkansas State in the low zone press again, matching up to the Trojans. Dropping back into their zone look. But if they flash somebody in that mid-high post, you see what I'm talking about?
Yep.
That is open.
Little Rock looking for its first lead here. Here's Pippins. Inside it goes now for Ben Marcus. Shot no good. Knocked out to Marquise Eaton.
Is Pippins? Oh, they don't have a football team, do they?
They are taking a look at
Pippins.
Feasibility study of maybe bringing one.
They could move Pippins over.
It's not. Two sports. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Ryan Pippins. It is not. It's not your classic point guard build, is it?
No. No, definitely not.
Big, thick. Dude, you're right. I mean, it looks like he could be playing linebacker for somebody.
I think he probably did at some point, if we look back into his history.
Pippins will sit down. A-State inbounds in the front court, trying to break this 11-all tie. Rashad Lindsay out for Grantham Gillard.
Anthony Black did a good job guarding that ball screen that early on in the possession here. Boy, he's got quick feet. He's getting after it.
Bruce to the basket, went right at Bankston and drew the foul. And then Bankston took a ball off the top of the head to compound the issue. So more free throws coming up for Arkansas State. Tomas Bruce, an interesting case at the free throw line. Again, he was sub 30% at the free throw line a year ago. So you look at that number that just showed up and it's over 60%. That's a pretty drastic improvement.
And every time that you talk about it, he makes the free throw. So if you're an ASU guy, they're hoping that you're
just
going
keep
to talk about it
mentioning
right
it,
now. Yeah.
How bad he was last year.
Surely he will make this one now. Yes.
Knocked it down, yeah.
You did it again, Brad.
He gives A-State a 2-point lead. Well, it may be a different story when the Trojans get to the line, where they have not been yet in this ball game. Here's Reedus, got into the paint, kicked it in the corner. 3-pointer up, no good for Anthony Black. And there's a foul on the rebound. It's going to go against Arkansas State's Grantham Gallardo.
Yeah, I was wondering which way that was going to go.
So it'll be the Trojans inbounding underneath. Corcoran. And to Bankston underneath. Chris Bankston scored.
Yeah, Bankston looked kind of uncertain on that finish, didn't he?
But the finish was there. Here's Connor Kern, who's checked into the ball game for Arkansas State. Little Rock certainly aware of what Kern brings to the table. Guard him out on the three-point line. Bruce fires it there in the corner. Here is Kern. No. Bruce tried to follow. No. Slammed high off the floor. Now that in the battle for the loose ball, there's a whistle and a foul against Arkansas State, and it will belong to the Trojans after a timeout. Approaching midway through the first half, these two in-state rivals tied up at 13 apiece.